Magandang araw, mates. Magandang araw, attorney. Welcome to my report. The conflict in contracts, no? Conflict of laws in contracts. So please allow me to share my screen. So the choice of law in contracts. So for our outline, I'll be basing only on the syllabus as provided by attorney. So let's start. Okay, so first I want to thank you for being here and for actively participating in our class today. And apologies if I will not be with you and have this session asynchronously. So pre-recorded po because I will be in a work-related trip today. And so, ayun, simulan na natin to. I'm ready, no? And so, we will be talking about first the contracts involving a foreign element. Contracts involving a foreign element. So, it is a simple overview that contracts involving a foreign element uh, are agreements connecting to multiple jurisdictions, meaning different countries, different decision making courts, no? They are these cross border contracts require resolving complex conflict of laws issues, specifically governing law, jurisdiction, and recognition of foreign judgments. So common topics that or issues that are addressed here are the challenges to the choice of law or forum clauses, the what we have discussed before, no? The Lex Loci, Lex Fori, among others, no? So this is according to the book of Professor Sweet and Maxwell in the Conflict of Laws year 2000. So medyo outdated na rin pala tong ano ko, no? Brief abstract natin for this topic. Anyways, so let's already proceed to our first case, no? In Macmillan v. Valderrama. Valderrama through an agent, meaning dito po, nangyari po dito is dahil marami pong kaso, no, so isa-summarize ko as much as fast as possible para ma-maximize po natin ang ating 30-minute discussion. And, ayan, orasan natin. So, the contract required dito po is sa purchase, no? Purchase ng railroad equipment na ipapadala sa Maynila. Ayun. So the contract required that Valderrama to acquire import license. And for some reason, ayaw na ni Valderrama. Ang dami namang effort, no? Ang dami namang gagawin, ang dami namang something na papeles. So kinancel niya, no? Nagcancelan ng kontrata, hindi na provide ni Valderrama, then kinancel ni Macmillan. Macmillan canceled the contract but incurred expenses in the process. Thus, Macmillan sued Valderrama. Now, the defense is hindi applicable that perfected yung Manila and Lex Loci Celebraciones in Manila. Philippine law is applicable. So the issue of the problem is whether Philippine law should apply in this case. So the quick answer for this is no. Regardless of Lex Loci Contractus or Lex Loci, mamaya po papangalanan natin ano ba itong ibig sabihin ng Lex Loci Contractus versus Lex Loci. Hindi, ngayon na nga, no? So Lex Loci Contractus po is law of the place where the contract was created. Okay? Now, Lex Loci Solutionis is where the contract will be carried out. So in this case, di ba? Saan maki-carried out yung kontrata? Sa Pilipinas. No? Pero bakit dito? Bakit sa Pilipinas naman ipapadala? Bakit hindi mag-carry on yung Philippine law? Sabi dito, no, the ruling is that Canadian law would still apply. A principal may authorize his agent in another state to enter into a contract valid in that state, although invalid under the law of the state in which the principal resides. It is given as a general rule that when a contract is to be performed at a place other than where it is made, the place of performance or execution will govern with respect to the nature, validity, and construction of the contract. Pero, the failure of the Import Control Commission to act on the application of import license cannot constitute a legal excuse for his failure to perform his obligations under the contract. Therefore, wala talagang kontrata. Tama ba? Kasi hindi naman sila nagkaroon ng palitan. Kasi nga hindi nag-provide si Macmillan ng ano eh. 'Di ba nung permits and everything yung mga papeles. Hence the cancellation. So meron in a way na parang nagkaroon ng bad faith o kakulangan ng isang partido. Hence, the Canadian law will be applied. So gets? If you will have question, by the way, feel free to message me in the chat box, no, in our group message. So key learning number 1, the law of the place where the contract will be carried out generally controls how the contract is understood and enforced. So this is Lex Loci Solutionis, no. So pakitandaan ng mga Latin. Now, we will not talk about the intrinsic versus the extrinsic validity of the will, of the contracts, no? So sabi sa NCC, no, there is no contract unless the following requisites concur. The consent, the object, and the cause. No, lagi, alam na natin yan. Lagi natin. And this implies to, implied. No, ito yung what we are understanding to be the intrinsic validity of the contract. So wala nang intro-intro, yun po yun, no? Now, ito rin, review na lang din. This is now governing in Article 17, the extrinsic validity. So a quick comparison for us to remember in upcoming days, upcoming years to come, no? In the next few years, magbabar na tayo. Ito lang yon, no? A quick table of comparison, intrinsic versus extrinsic validity. Intrinsic, essential elements. Consent, object, and cause. Extrinsic validity, external legal impositions. Formal formalities, anong batas? Kailangan bang notarize? Nakasulat ba? Verbal ba? How will it be registered? Among others, no? Effective absent, void. Walang kontrata. If extrinsic validity, pag wala to, it may be unenforceable. Example, a contract where consent was obtained through fraud or intimidation of fixed intrinsic validity. Di ba? Pag naloko, di ba? Merong bad faith, no? Deliberate yung intention mo na lokohin yung paggawa mo ng kontrata. Boom! Contract is void. And in the sale of land, not in writing violates the statute of frauds, affecting extrinsic validity. Now, we have talked about Lex Loci Celebrationis. We have talked about Lex Loci Solutionis. Now, let's talk about Lex Loci Intentionis. Ito naman po, the law intended by the parties. Allowing the parties to contract to choose the governing law. So, kayo yung partido, kayo na yung mag-decide. No? Kung ano yung batas na susundin natin whenever meron tayong arbitration, meron tayong hindi pagkakasunduan, ano yung kunya, especially if merong different jurisdiction, no, na involved, no. By the way, attorney, permission no, na I'm speaking vernacular for me to maipadala yung mga mensahe accurately and as fast as possible. Now, it is respected in international transactions and by courts unless it violates. Naalala niyo yung sinabi before in my report that deposage, no? Pag pinagtagpi-tagpi mo, as long as kumukuha ka ng iba't ibang mga ruling, kumukuha ka ng iba't ibang mga interpretasyon sa iba't ibang mga ruling ng US, ruling ng Canada, ruling ng Japan, and in-apply mo sa batas mo as long as it doesn't violate what? The law, the public policy. Okay? And it is not serving injustice to either of the parties. Alright? Now, it is explicitly stated in 1306 and 1370 the intention of Lex Loci Intentionis. The contracting parties may establish such stipulations, laws, and terms as they may deem convenient. Again, as long as it is not contrary to law, morals, good customs, public order, or public policy. Okay? If the terms of a contract are clear and leave no doubt upon the intention, it shall be taken literal. No? Tanggapin mo literal. And if the words appear to be contrary to the evident intention of the parties, the latter shall prevail over the former. So ito yon, no. Lex loci intentionis. Mabilis tayo, no? Binibilisan natin. So now let's talk about capacity to enter into contracts. It means determining which country's law decides whether a person is legally capable of making a contract, for example, whether they are of legal age or mentally competent. Yun lang naman yung tanong dito eh, di ba? If you are of legal age, pwede ka na makipagkontrata. Pwede ka na magtrabaho. Basically, tama ba? May contract of ano eh, contract of employment, for example, no? Or they are mentally competent. Yun lang naman yung dalawang tanong usually. So, general rule, a person's national law or personal law determines their capacity to contract. Example, if a 17-year-old Filipino signs a contract in another country where 18 is the legal age, Philippine law is national law may still be used to determine if he has the capacity to contract. Therefore, wala. Tama ba? He is considered a minor. Okay? Hindi pa siya pwedeng magtrabaho. Now, choice of law in issues in conflicts, contracts, cases. Parapit na tayo. Napakadami po natin mga kaso na i-discuss in a moment. No? So the choice of the forum, the choice of fori, means the agreement of the parties on which court or country will resolve any dispute arising from their contract. Example, a contract between a Filipino company and a Japanese company may state that any dispute must be filed in the courts of Singapore. This clause is the choice of the forum. So meaning, napagdesisyon na nila, di ba? Na sa Singapore sila magkakaroon ng arbitrasyon if ever na merong mga dispute. Regardless kung Pilipinas o Japan ka, sa Singapore tayo magtutuos. Naintindihan? Okay? So in the case of company versus Hamburg, so sorry, on June 17, 1914, the defendant chartered and hired upon to the plaintiff the steamship or vessel called Sombia for the purpose of carrying a full cargo of rice bran, and cargo meal from the port of Saigon to the port of Dunkirk and Hamburg. The plaintiff loaded and for some reason, no, as far as I remember, ito pong kaso na to, tumigil sa Maynila. Okay? Tumigil, ayan, willfully abandoned the said stipulated voyage and remained. Meaning, hindi natapos yung ano, yung ano niya, pathway, yung pinagdadaanan niyang mga biyahe. So on September 10, the defendant and in the absence of plaintiff sought and obtained by means of petition filed the authority of this court to discharge the said cargo of the plaintiff from the said vessel and to sell the same private. So binenta, no, binenta ang Zambia under and by virtue of said failure, refusal, and neglect of the defendant to safely carry the said merchandise and cargo as in the said charter party and bills of lading provided, the plaintiff instituted a complaint. Now, whether or not the Philippine courts has jurisdiction. Interesting ruling po dito. Yes. Sir Mark, diba kakasabi mo lang kanina na kung yung nakapagkasundoan sa kontrata, doon sila mag-arbitrate, di ba? Doon sila doon nila i-settle yung dispute. Pa doon dito, ano nangyari? Doon sa Pinas, no? In the court below, defendant not only appeared and answered without objecting to the court's jurisdiction but sought affirmative relief. And it's very clear that defendant cannot be permitted to submit the issues raised by then pleadings or for adjudication without objection, and then when unsuccessful, assail the court's jurisdiction in reliance upon a stipulation in the charter party which the parties were at entire liberty to waive if they so desire. So dito, we need to stop therefore to rule upon the contention of opposing us that a contractual stipulation for a general arbitration cannot be invoked to oust our courts of their jurisdiction under the doctrine announced in the cases, and this doctrine should be applied in the case at bar, notwithstanding the fact that the contract was executed in England and in the absence of averment and proof that under the law of England, compliance with or on an offer to comply with such stipulation constitutes a condition precedent to the institution of judicial proceeding for the enforcement of the contract. So dito, dahil sa Maynila, 'di ba? Sa Maynila naging crucial yung pagtigil yung pagbenta ng bangka, the Philippine courts will have now jurisdiction in the case. So, yun po yung nangyari dito. So, King Mawu versus CSIP. King Mawu filed a case to collect. So, pagkakautang, 59,000 claiming unpaid commission from the sale of 1,000 tons of coconut oil emulsion. King Mao was the exclusive agent for selling CSIP's coconut oil. And for some reason, ang nangyari naman po dito is hindi na tinuloy yung benta. 'Di ba? Na hindi naman wala yung kontrata, 'di ba? The sale happened before the agency contract and was already separately. Siguro naisip niya, nako, ayoko nang bigyan ng commission to. So wala namang iba naman talaga yung sale, 'di ba? Wala pa exist na kontrata. So now the dispute centers on whether the sale was covered by the agency contract and whether additional commissions are still due and demandable. Now, the question is whether the Regional Trial Court of Manila has jurisdiction in this case. The court has jurisdiction. A non-resident may sue a resident. Bakit? Kasi nga, di ba, meron na agad bad faith eh. Hindi ka sumunod sa kontrata. Whether the defendant may summon his property liable upon execution in the case of a favorable final and executory judgment. It is a personal action for the collection of a sum of money which the courts of first instance have jurisdiction to try and decide. There is no conflict of laws, di ba? Kasi nga initially may bad faith agad eh, na dapat part pa rin siya ng kontrata na magkakaroon ng commission pero tinanggal. Di ba? Essentially, nandun na yon, yung deliberate intention na solohin mo yung pera, yung pagkakakitaan mo na supposed to be kay King Mao, no? Kay King Mao. Parang kurimawan. Oh, so unless the enforcement of the contract be against public policy of the forum, it must be enforced. The plaintiff now is intended to collect for the commission and 50,000 for one of the overprice of a total. Yan. So nakakuha siya as ruled by the court. No? Now, a non-resident may sue a resident in the courts of this country where the defendant may be summoned and his property liable upon execution in the case of a favorable final and executory judgment. For Hong Kong versus Shanghai banking, no? Actually ito na madalas na to na di-discuss. No? And very common na to, summarize na lang natin mabilis. So nangyari po dito is a complaint of collection of money. Pero nasa stipulation, nasa kontrata that they will be whenever dispute will be happening between the parties, it will be settled in the Singapore jurisdiction. And a very interesting ruling. No? So the question is, whether or not the Philippine courts of jurisdiction. So sagot niyo siguro, syempre, napagkasunduan na nga natin eh. Lex loci solutionis na nga, di ba? So, Philippine courts, you should not have. Kasi nga Singapore na eh. No. Ang ruling po dito, yes, no. While the transaction took place mostly in Singapore, no, and contains a choice of forum clause, yun na nga yung pinili nila, no. Due process demands that stipulation that guarantee shall be construed and may be enforced in accordance with should be construed liberally. Meaning, dapat mong i-considera na i-consider yung jurisdiction ng Pilipinas dahil mga Pilipino yung nasa party na to. Bakit? Sila yung what do you call this? Yung hassle nung trial, yung hassle nung pag-aayos ng kaso, o biyahe pa sa Singapore, yung hassle ng pagpapasa ng mga dokumento, o biyahe pang Singapore, yun, among others, no. So one basic principle underlies all rules of jurisdiction in international law. A state does not have jurisdiction in the absence of some reasonable basis for exercising it. Be reasonable, the jurisdiction must be based on some minimum contacts while in line with fair play and substantial justice. It will be unfair for the Filipinos, di ba? Na doon sa Singapore natin. Yan. So now, let's talk about the contracts with arbitration clause. An agreement where parties stipulate that any dispute, as I said earlier, no, and governed by 9285, ito yung pinag-aaralan po natin sa ADR, no, Such clauses are recognized as valid, binding, and enforceable. So, um, when a dispute arises, Philippine courts generally respect the arbitration agreement and refer to the parties to arbitration unless the clause is null, void, inoperative, or incapable of being performed. And yet, um, if ever nag-govern to ng international laws, meron tayong mga member ang Pilipinas sa New York Convention on the Recognition of Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards, to which the Philippines is a party. Kaya interesting, no? Interesting maging international lawyer, no? Na imagine kung ikaw yung mapadala dyan, kung ikaw magkaroon ng mga kaso facing foreign judgments, no? One of one of actually one of my dreams po, no? So, contracts with arbitration clauses in conflict of laws prioritize party autonomy, allowing parties to choose arbitration as the forum for dispute resolution, while courts to limit their role mainly to referral, recognition, and enforcement of arbitral awards. Now, in Puro Mines versus Court of Appeals. So dito, um, Puro Mines and Makati Agro entered into a contract with private respondents. So dito, meron silang arbitration clause. Any dispute will be settled in where? London, no? So shall, no? Taga London. So the shipment covered by 3 bills of lading was loaded on MV barko din, no? When the shipment covered by bill of lading were discharged, sadly, ito yung nangyari, no? Sa mga kagamitan, hardened, lumpy, discolored, madumi. Ibig sabihin, they are in disgraceful manner. So, mga sira-sira na. Puro Mines filed a complaint with the trial court for breach of contract of carriage against the maritime, a ship agent, and Philip Brothers as charterer. Now, syempre ni-raise ni Philip na should be the arbitration should be complied in London, no? So, now, the question will be, nawala yung issue na nabura. Sorry about that. So, sino yung Teka lang. I-post natin. Nawala yung no? Nawala yung issue. And we're back. Ayan. So, ito, nawala yung issue, Ito po yung issue. So, whether or not the arbitration clause, so in London, yes. So, cover the claims for violation of the contract of carriage. So, the quick answer is yes. So, the sales contract is comprehensive enough to include claims for damages arising from carriage and delivery to the goods. Puro Mines derives it right to the cargo from the bill of lading, which is the contract of affrayment, together with the sales contract. Consequently, it is bound by the provisions and terms of the said bill of lading and of the arbitration clause incorporated in the sales contract. So, responsibility to third persons for goods shipped on board a vessel follows the vessel possession and employment. Assuming the cause of action is based on contract of carriage, it must be first determined what kind of charter party had with the ship owner to determine the liability. If it is a contract of affrightment, the charterer is not liable as possession is still with the owner. If it is a charter of demise or bareboat, then the charterer is liable as it is considered the owner and therefore would be liable for damage or loss. So dahil nga meron tayong nag-exist na arbitration clause, it will now be valid and binding. Okay? Madali lang maintindihan. No? So the Bremen versus the Bata. So Bremen, a German towing corporation, contracted to transport a self-elevating drilling rig from Lusciano to Ravenna in the Adriatic Sea. So, a Houston-based American corporation. Their towing agreement included a forum selection clause, let's call it FSC para mabilis, in London then. When suddenly a storm forced the Bremen to make land in the nearest port of refuge, which is Tampa, Florida, since the rig tow was damaged. Zapata sued there, doon sa Florida, ignoring the forum clause, which is supposed to be in London also, no? And move to dismiss lack of jurisdiction or on forum on non-convenience grounds. So, the question is, Wala na wala. Ay, hindi pa to. So, the 6-month period, so, summarize na lang natin na mabilis, no? Hindi nila dinisregard yung forum selection clause, no? And nagsampa ng kaso. So the question is whether or not the forum selection clause in the towing contract of the Bremen Zopat is enforceable and binding among the parties. So the quick answer is, of course, yes. Diba? The forum selection clause will be binding, which is a vital part of the towing contract is enforceable and binding on the parties unless the party seeking to avoid it can meet the heavy burden of showing that its enforcement will be unreasonable, unfair, or unjust. So it is for the party to prove na mahirapan kami kung sa London pa. So the Supreme Court reversed the decision of the Court of Appeals and stated that the absent and forum non-convenience analysis would be inappropriate, but that in times of expanding world trade and commerce, judicial hostility towards FSCs is outdated. Continued judicial hostility towards FSCs, the court explained, would have the opposite effect on the much desired expansion of American business and industry. Yes. So finally, the Supreme Court asserted a new attitude towards the choice clauses by reasoning that Americans simply could not continue to force their laws into the forefront of international commerce and trade agreements by giving their courts control over which every conflict, di ba? Dahil ba sa Florida na kayo pinaka convenient sa inyo, doon na kayo magsasampa agad-agad, di ba? So, no. In addition to ending the hostility towards FSCs, the court developed a new analytical framework in the area of international contracts, abandoning the traditional forum non-convenience analysis using domestic contract cases. So, di ba? Dito, parang in this, not sure, anong taon ba to? May lista ko naman na ata. Yun, 1972. Parang nagde-develop na dito, center of gravity, di ba? Nag-update na sila ng mga, judicial decisions. So, yun. Now, let's talk about Korea Technologies v. Lerma. So, Kojis is a Korean corporation that are to supply LPG in the Steel Corporation PGSMC, a domestic corporation. They have executed a contract that they will be supplying in the plant in Carmona, Cavite. The contract was executed in the Philippines. PGMC stopped payment. Hindi na nagbayad, no, of its balance under the contract because Kojis allegedly used mga mababang klase. Ba naman, di ba? Ba't ko magbabayad kung pangit pala yung substandard yung materials na binibigay sa proyekto nyo, no? So, they have informed the PGSMC that they could not unilaterally resign the contracts or dismantle and transfer the machineries and equipment on mere imagined violations by Kojis. Ito na. Freenont ni Kojis na meron silang arbitration clause sa Korea. Di ba? Para namang lugi ang mga Pilipino niyan, di ba? Meanwhile, Kojis also filed a complaint for specific performance against PGSMC. Then filed sa CA. Yan, so summary na lang ng legal proceedings. So the question is whether or not the arbitration clause is against public policy. Ano sagot nyo? Ah, according to the Supreme Court, it is not against public policy. Okay? The court should liberally construe arbitration clause, provided such clause is susceptible of an interpretation that covers the asserted dispute on order to arbitrate should be granted. Any doubt should be resolved in favor of arbitration. So, dahil na-settle nila na meron na tayong arbitration clause, so meron tayong hindi pagkakaunawaan, hindi kayo magbabayad dahil mukhang substandard yung materials natin, o punta tayo sa arbitration sa SOD, di ba? Yun dito. Okay? Okay, so also, under the Civil Code, sanctions in the validity of not mutually agreed arbitral clause or the finality of and binding effect of an arbitral award under the said provision, any stipulation that the arbitrator's award or decision shall be final is valid without prejudice to the following article. So, di ba, sabi sa ADR that decisions in arbitration is valid and respected by law. Yan. So, now, in addition of contract, so, ito napag-aaralan sa commercial law, yung mga contract of adhesion when fine print rule sa mga cases of insurance na it should be construed against the preparer of the contract, 'di ba? In favor of the one receiving the contract. So kasi isa lang naman yung gumagawa ng kontrata and the other party will just be reading and accepting the terms and conditions inside the contract. So tama lang naman na meron din pag mga case na ganito sa conflict of laws. So, the Philippine Supreme Court recognized additions contracts as generally valid but strictly construed against the party who drafted them. Thus, in conflict of law cases, courts protect the weaker party. So, yung mas mahina na partido from oppressive or unjust choices clauses. Malapit na tayo matapos. Don't worry. So at the Guam Airport, so karamihan po dito puro plane ticket na yung naging ano no, yung mga issue, mga cases dito or mga nawalang baggage, so ano, mga lipad-lipad na issue. So when he arrived in Manila, may nawawala siyang maleta and for some reason yung airline offered only $160. Pero siya, si Rapadas, hindi. Ginto yun eh. I will be claiming $42,000, no? So the issue in the case whether a passenger is bound by the terms of a passenger ticket declaring the limitations of carrier's liability. So ito pong limitation na to, it is mentioned in Warsaw Convention. So the Warsaw Convention provides that it is applicable to international carriage defined as follows. Though no walang limitation na binanggit pero nandun dun sa policy uh, nung airplane company nung airplane company. So the court held that the Warsaw Convention does not require a highly detailed notice of baggage liability limitation in passenger tickets. What is required is that the ticket reasonably inform the passenger that the convention may apply and that it limits the carrier's liability for loss or damage to the baggage. So nangyari po dito, the Supreme Court ruled na $160 lang yung ibibigay sa halip na $42,000. So ang nangyari po dito, talo po si passenger, si pangalan niya, si Rapadas. So in PAL, Philippine Airlines versus CA and Mejia. So Mejia shipped through defendant, dito naman nagbiyahe siya ng microwave oven. Okay? And pagdating niya ng uh, uh, Pinas, basag. No, basag yung microwave. So nag-request siya na kailangan yung kung bayaran nito ng 30,000 for the oven kahit na yung bago is 40,000, 10,000 for moral damages, exemplary damages. And the question will be now, may monthly loss income pa pala. So the court ruled with Mejia. However, syempre nagreklamo ang airplane company. So, dapat mayroon ding limitation yung mare-request niya. So, is PAL liable beyond what is stipulation in the airway bill? So, the answer is yes. On the airway bill kasi dito kasi, as far as I remember, hindi lang basta, meron ding, may negligence din sa part ng PAL. So, basahin natin, no? The airway bill was a contract of addition which was not invalid per se, but the facts and circumstances of the present case. So, yon, may mga bagay na nakaapekto. So, parang hindi agad siya natulungan, ganyan-ganyan, merong distress na ganap. In the case of the buyer, it will be noted that the private respondent signified the intention to declare the value, pero hindi inalaw. No, hindi siya pinayagan ng PAL personnel. So, una na, red flag na yon, di ba? Contracts of addition are not invalid per se. The court has numerous occasions upheld the binding effect thereof. The peculiar nature of such contracts behooves the court to closely scrutinize the factual milieu to which the provisions are intended to apply. Yon. So, dito, the court sided with Mejia. No? So, nabasagan ng oven. So, lesson learned, huwag magdadala ng oven. Hindi, pwedeng magdala, no? Huwag nabasag, singilin si, airplane company. So, first, special contracts, isa lang, again, kailangan tandaan, the Warsaw Convention. So, ito po yon, no? Transportation, pwede nyo ng screenshot, to be performed by several successive air conditions shall be deemed for the purpose of undivided. So, meaning, lahat, kunyari, meron kang multiple flights, no? Meron ba tayong example dito? Yan, meron tayong example. So, Manila, Cebu, Hong Kong, kahit na ganyan kadami, they are still governed with war. So, kahit sa Pinas ka lang naman bumalik, di ba, nag-Manila ka lang, pero ang dami mong pang inikutan. Nag-stop ka kasi sa Hong Kong, no? Meron kang dinaanan na foreign jurisdiction. So the rule ensures that the convention applies whenever the contract of carriage contemplates an international element, not merely when the origin and destination are different. So hindi na lang basta starting point and end point. Kung ano yung mga dinaanan mo na proseso, ano yung mga bansang dinaanan mo, ano yung mga lugar na dinaanan mo. So now let's talk about American President Line versus Klepper. So, Klepper ship, Alif ban na pagdala ng Japan, no, ng mga gamit niya. And for some reason, nabagsak, nasira yung ban, nag ano siya, nag-suffer ng damages, nag-request, no, should be given value. On the other hand, ayaw pumayag, no. But it contains that this liability cannot exceed only to $500, no. Yun na lang. So, whether or not the liability of American President Line should not exceed $500. So, yes, the civil code provides that the law of the country which goods are to be transported shall govern. By the way, sa Manila din nila from Yokohama. So, kaya dito, civil code tayo. This means the law of the Philippines or in all matters not regulated by this code, the rights and obligations of common Koreans shall be governed by the Code of Commerce and special laws. And in civil code, there are provisions that govern said rights and obligations. So therefore, all those sections of the carriage of goods by the Sea Act states that the carrier should not be liable in an amount exceeding $500 per package unless the value of the goods had been declared by the shipper and inserted in the bill of, so na-identify, di ba? Binanggit pa nga niya eh. Di ba? Binanggit pa nga niya yung mga total damages. So, dito parang um, yung total, no? Yung total plus yung nasirang truck. So, hindi ko lang nalista siguro yung ano po dito, hindi ko lang nalista yung final amount. Pero, more than $500 yung dapat bayaran. So, the deal of lading limits only for 500 per package and unless the shipper declares a higher value when delivered. If a higher value is declared and recorded in the bill of lading, the carrier's liability will be based on that declared value but will not exceed it. Any partial loss, ha? Dito pala, hindi nga nag-exceed. Di ba? Hindi nga na, mali po ako ng interpretasyon. Pasensya na po. So, in this case, no, regardless, kaya nga hindi na mention yung total. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, remove. Balik tayo. No? So, kahit na minention niya na napakadami na sirang kotse, yung amount ng hindi mag exceed as mentioned in the Code of Commerce. Kasi the rights and under obligation of common care shall be governed by the Code of Commerce and by special laws. So in the case, the carriage of goods will be considered. So meaning, hindi mag exceed ng $500. Alright? Lopez versus Pan American World. So in this case, reservation for dito senador no nagpa-reserve ng ano ng accommodation no. And for some reason hindi na provide. Siyempre nagreklamo si senador no because of some urgent matters there. And nagprotesta. So they have nagprotesta siyempre senador alam sa batas. No, so the SC held that defendant acted in the bad faith and is liable for moral and exemplary damages. So the defendant acted in bad faith kasi meron tayong mga evidence through uh, canceled plaintiff's reservation, number one, no? Um, letting them go and believing that their first reservation stood valid and confirmed, no? X talaga yon. First class pa naman, no? Misleading plaintiffs into purchasing first class tickets when in fact they had none. Defendant willfully and niloko sila nung ahente nung nagbenta sa kanila uh, nung reservation. So again dito, merong bad faith. So very ano na. meron ng breach of a known duty through some motive of interest or ill will. Kaya madaling intindihin, at the time plaintiffs bought their tickets defendant, therefore, in breach of his known duty, made plaintiffs believe that their reservation had not been cancelled. Such willful non-disclosure of the cancellation or pretense, and not simply the erroneous cancellation, is the factor of which attributable the breach of resulting contracts. So, clearly acted in bad faith. So, madali lang intindihin, no? Nagpa-reserve, hindi pinigyan, yun. So, you are liable. So, for KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines versus CA, Spouses Mendoza, enter into, ito buong mahabang biyahe. Maraming dinaanan, and for some reason dito, ang nangyari naman po is, meron silang hindi napuntahang mga bansa at nagbayad sila doon ng mga ticket, nagbayad sila ng mga over expenses. Now, they are now suing KLM for damages, and the SC ruled in their favor. So, whether or not the Warsaw Convention applies, bakit dito hindi nag-apply, Sir Mark, di ba? Because not applicable does not involve an accident or delay but a willful misconduct. Again, merong bad faith nung KLM. Di ba? Ang bayan sila, siguro honeymoon trip or whatsoever, ikutin nila na 35 leg na lugar, 35 na bansa ba yan o lugar na merong magnificent view, nagbayad sila ng hindi normal na presyo para sa kanilang get together, di ba? Then bigyan na lang sasayangin, merong bad faith na nandito. Ay, ito, in the agent Air Lingus, di ba? So the carrier should be entitled to avail himself of the provisions of this convention. Kasi deliberate na nga yung pagluloko mo eh. Magli-limit ka lang ng $500, million yung ninakaw mo through, yung ginastos nila, di ba? Yung moral and exemplary damages na nangyari sa kanila, di ba? Hindi nila na-enjoy yung trip nila, yung stress ng ibang lugar na wala kang alam, wala kang kakilala, pupunta ka sa isang lugar, tapos magbabayad ka ng ticket, ng over expenditure, so on and so forth. No? So the carrier is likewise liable for the damage caused under the same circumstances by any agent of the carrier. Alright, so deliberate ang bad faith, kaya walang warso dun, warso limitation. In Santos v. Northwest, Augusto, a minor and a resident of Philippines, purchased from NOAA, New Orleans ba to? A foreign corporation with principal office in Minnesota. A round trip ticket. So dito, for his flight back, ticket na naman, no? No ticket was provided in his return. However, so dito, walang provide na pabalik sa ticket, and therefore, hindi siya, nabigyan, no, ng reservation, he had to be waitlisted. So, the question is whether or not the Philippine courts have jurisdiction over the case. Ito na, di ba? Very, dito, no. The place of destination within the meaning is the Warsaw Convention, determined by the terms of the contract of carriage. The ticket between the passenger and the carrier. Examination of the petitioner's ticket shows that his ultimate destination is San Francisco, although the date of the return flight was left open. So, final yung San Francisco, hindi Manila. So, that NOAA was bound to transport a petition to San Francisco from Manila. Manila should not therefore be considered merely an agreed stopping place and not the destination. Yon. So, in American Airlines Court of Appeals, respondent bought conjunction tickets, meaning ng conjunction po, ganun din. Maraming pupuntahan, series of places, no? In Manila from Singapore. A multi-city international itinerary ending in New York. Sa New York magtatapos. The petitioner airlines that was not originally part of the itinerary, while in Geneva the respondent decided to skip Copenhagen and proceeded directly to New York. So the news portion. So dito nangyari, ganun din. No? Nagbiyahe siya ng ibang lugar, and nag-claim siya ng reimbursement kasi ibang trip di ba? And nag-file siya ng damages sa Philippine court alleging embarrassment and mental anguish after being temporarily detained by the airline security officer at Geneva Airport before boarding. So the airline moved to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction under the Warsaw, but both trial and appellate court ruled the Philippine courts had jurisdiction over the contract of carriage. So the issue, whether or not the RTC Philippines Cebu Philippines has jurisdiction. So the answer will be yes. no, when the petitioner agreed to replace the original carrier, it became bound by the contract of carriage between the private respondent and Singapore Airlines. Philippine courts have jurisdiction since the contract was made in Manila and the issue of venue in Cebu was waived when the petitioner presented evidence in the court. Under the Warsaw Convention, the series of as a considered, 'di ba, yung unang binasa natin, yung unang ruling, the paragraph 3, no? When the parties intend to transport as one operation, thereby binding all participating airlines. So dito na ginamit 'yon. 'Di ba? Dahil dadaan ka ng Pilipinas, boom, it will have jurisdiction under the Warsaw Convention. So China Airlines versus Chok. Daniel Chok purchased from China Airlines passenger ticket covering ganun din, series of places. Said ticket was exclusively for to PAL before leaving said trips. There's were pre-scheduled confirmed by Chok. When he arrived in Taipei, he went to CAL office and confirmed his Hong Kong to Manila trip on board with PR311. CAL office attached a yellow sticker appropriately indicating that his flight status was okay. When Chok reached Hong Kong, he went to PAL office to reconfirm his flight back to Manila. PAL confirmed his return to trip on board PR311 and attached to its own sticker. When Chok proceeded on November 24, 1981 to Hong Kong International Airport, he saw a poster stating that PR311 was cancelled because of a typhoon in Manila. He was then informed that all ticket holder of 311 were automatically booked for its next flight, leaving the next day. He informed PAL personnel that he needed to reach Manila on November 25 because of a business option which had to be executed on the said date. He was not permitted, and thereafter he proceeded to PAL office and confronted the reservation officer who previously confirmed his flight back to Manila. The reservation officer told him his name was on the list as evidenced by the PAL confirmation as attached to his plane ticket. He decided to use another card ticket which was then booked and scheduled. And to depart. So yung grabe naging stress kay Chok, the question is whether or not CAL should be held liable. So the answer is yes. Despite all points to the negligence of PAL's employees, CAL should be held liable. By the very nature of their contract, CAL is clearly liable under the contract of carriage with Chok and remains to be so regardless of those instances when actual carriage to be performed by another carrier. So the contract of air transportation was between CAL and Chok, with the former endorsing to PAL the Hong Kong-Manila segment of the journey. Such contract of carriage was always been treated as a single operation. This is supported by the Warsaw Convention. No? So CAL cannot evade liability to Chok even though it may have been only a ticket user for Hong Kong-Manila segment. So, pagod na ako. Dami pa. Dalawa pa, no? So, in this case, Grino and his companion, ganun din. So, series of trips, no? Nakaramdam din ng so much humiliation. So, the issue in this case, bakit naman dito hindi nag-apply? Because dito merong the Warsaw Convention, meron dito nagkaroon ng prescriptive period. It should be claimed within 2 years. It also states that when the claim is covered by the convention, years after. They only filed the complaint dito na the clincher. They only have filed the complaint years after. So, inabot sila ng prescriptive period. However, courts recognize that not all passenger claims fall under the convention. In this case, the passenger alleged humiliation and emotional distress due to the airline's gross negligence which are now considered, ito interesting, no? Na-consider pa rin yung tort under civil code because it will be prescribing in 4 years. So, the case was filed within that period. The court denied of the airline's petition and allowed the case to proceed. So, under if Warsaw, hindi siya considered. But under torts, considered. No? And finally, in Louvillier, the British Airways filed a complaint for damages against British before the RTC of Makati after 2 flight attendants allegedly binastos, no? Nagkabastusan. She claimed that one attendant refused to help her, causing humiliation, and the one publicly lecturing and causing humiliation. The airline moved to dismiss, arguing that the Warsaw Convention, uh, only London to Rome have that Philippines had no jurisdiction. So, question, Warsaw or Philippine courts? So the Philippine courts have jurisdiction. So, yes, Philippines court has jurisdiction as ruled in Santos as the earlier case, no? It was settled in our jurisprudence that tortious conduct as ground for the petitioner's complaint is within the purview of the Warsaw Convention. So the Warsaw Convention applies, merong tortious act, merong bad faith, merong injustice served, no? So it will Philippines will carry on its jurisdiction. Tortious conduct occurred as was between the United Kingdom and the which are both signatories of the Warsaw Convention. So in summary, things that we have to remember is the Warsaw Convention, no, yung transportation as one single, kahit na multiple lahat yun, mayroong jurisdiction. Lex loci solutionis, the law of the place, or the choice of the forum. Lex loci contractus, where the law of where the contract was perfected. Lex loci solutionis, the contract where the law of the place where the contract will be carried on. So yun lamang po. If you will have questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to chat in our chat box. Ayun lamang po, maraming salamat po for staying up till this late. God bless you.